This doctor the other day looks at me. She says, if I was a betting woman, I would say you probably have cancer. This is the eye thing that I had growing here. I was there to get a biopsy done, and she does the biopsy. She freezes it up, which is crazy painful. And she's like, I'm just going to get enough to do a good test. And she ends up lopping the whole thing off. And the craziest thing happened as she's cutting this thing off. My entire consciousness, everything I could see was my mom. Seriously, all I could see was all the times my mom was there for me, that she loved me, that she accepted me, her being at every baseball game, every rugby game. Yet for the last 25, 35 years, I've done almost nothing but resent her. I was focusing on these times in my childhood where she wasn't around, mainly because my sister was sick, so she was with her in the hospital. That's not how a child's brain processes things. It just processes it like she's not there, period. Doesn't matter why. And for the last 9 months, I've been trying to figure out what's the emotional cause of this thing. It's on my left side of my body, the feminine side. It's right in my freaking eye. It's potentially cancerous, which is typically resentment. And now I'm in that time of looking at it and just literally laughing at like, wow, it could not have been more obvious. I'm being forced to literally see, I could see it every day when it was growing up in my eye. I was literally looking at the resentment that I had toward the figure that represents the feminine in my life, my mother. And I left that appointment, I went out in the car and I started tearing up and I called my mom and I didn't tell her that my eye was patched up and that it was bleeding. I didn't tell her anything about the experience. I just said, hey, how's your day? How are you feeling? And for the first time in 25, 35 years, I really heard what she had to say. I wasn't blinded by resentment and anger. Now it's been about 4 days. As you can see, it's still healing up. They had to cauterize it to close the wound. My heart is just full of love for this woman and all that she did for me. So shout out to my mom, Jackie, and massive shout out to all of you guys that are doing the inner work so that you can expand and upgrade and do all the things you want to do in your life, because we have to address this stuff before we can go to that stuff.